Our next question says Malia's story about prom night and how Mike treated her was so sad. She still blames herself for all of his cheating ways. How much pressure do you think Malia was under to make that relationship work since both families had forced them together? I think Malia was under a lot of pressure. And in many communities, especially the one Malia finds herself in Rose City, it's on the women to maintain the relationship. Like if the relationship falls apart, women tend to be, well, what did you do wrong? And how come you made him leave? And how come he didn't want to be there no more? And how come he's cheating? It's always on
Mm,
her.
right,
So I do feel like that's a lot of pressure to put on anybody, male or
right.
female. But women do feel a lot of sense of duty, to uplift that family name, and if that relationship falls apart, then you got to deal with people in the community, especially if it's a high profile relationship, and you go out to the store and everybody's staring at you because they know your dirty little secret, supposedly, and word travels around and your family members know this, and people down the street that ain't got nothing to do with you know this, and it might be on the news, so I don't know. Was Mike the DA when they were together? What was his position back then?
So he was in high school and then he went on to college.
So who was he? His family were the ones that had influential titles back then. So
Yes,
it was a lot of
very
it was a lot
influential.
of trying to link yourself with the right people to marry into at that point.
Hmm.
'Cause now they're a little bit older and they actually have titles of their own. So yeah, I do think she was under a great deal of pressure and still is, but I feel like she's breaking out of that and trying to define, her own life and find her own voice outside of the pressures from her family.
Hmm. What you got for us, Lily?
Um, yeah, them being forced together with that's something you see a lot with usually with immigrant families and prominent families. I think me and
Hmm.
Karina was talking about that. So I she was under pressure, but I also think, she did somehow under all that, and as horrible as he was, she did love him.
Definitely.
Um and as women, special, well, it's not even a color thing, but with women, we're told, to please our men, and basically be his peace and be his rock, be
Right.
whatever. And so, being that, he cheated, even though the problem was clearly with him, um, she starts to look at herself. Oh,
Hmm.
why wasn't I enough?
There you
Um,
go.
I tried this. I did that. I kept up with myself. I did this. I
Hmm.
did everything I was asked to do. From him and the family, and forgave him over and over. And he still, actually ended up marrying somebody else. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, we could be hard on our. It's something I personally struggle with. Being so hard on ourselves, and so it's not healthy that she blames herself. But I just think that's just something we as women have a tendency to do, especially when we feel like we're doing what's expected of us, and we're following the rules and we're doing everything right, and then we still get messed over, and it's like, well, what was it about me? Did I miss something?
Hmm.
Did I forget something? So yeah, she shouldn't have, she shouldn't, and nobody should ever blame themselves when another person is cheating. I always say, well, have said back in my dating days, we were in the same relationship. If I'm with you, you're with me, and if we have a problem, and my way of solving it wasn't to go run and
Right.
put another man between my legs, then you don't need to go jump in between somebody
Right.
else's
It
legs
works both
because
ways.
we have a problem. Yeah. you know, if we have an issue, let's talk about it, let's work it out. There's no, oh well, you know, you made me feel this type of way, or you did this or said this, or you live
Excuses.
this way, so this is going to be my solution.
Hmm.
No, that's not my solution. We,
No,
you know, have the same stress, the same kids, the same issue,
right.
you know. So yeah, I think, you know, there was some pressure, you know, from the family to marry him because of, you know, their positions, you know, and what on the scene or what, you know, what have you. But I think she still loved him too.
Definitely.
It was a mixture of both. So
Hmm. I agree.
yeah.
Let me reread
Mm.
this. The question. Malia's story about prom night and how Mike treated her was so sad. She still blames herself for all of his cheating ways. For me, that's like two parts. And let's talk about like Malia revealed to Chan that the reason why she had been up to Rocky Butte with those five guys was because it was prom night and it was five couples. So five girls, five guys. So while they were up at Rocky Butte, somehow she got a hold to Mike's phone and saw that Mike had made arrangements that so that after prom was over, he was going to meet up with somebody else and spend prom night with another girl. Malia spent the majority of her prom night in the bathroom crying
Mm.
because she was just so hurt and so embarrassed. And the book talks about Mike was on the dance floor cutting a rug, baby. He was flirting with girls. I mean, he was having a time of his life. His girlfriend, his date, is in the bathroom, humiliated and bawling her eyes out. And I'm sure people are like, yo, Mel is in the bathroom. She's hurt. Oh, she'll be fine. And so he's just out there just cutting a two step, having the time of his life because he knows that once the limousine drops Malia off at home, he's got to go into Crystal's house or somebody else's house. Um, and it talks about like Malia, she kind of like blamed herself, like it was her talking to Chan about what happened, and still kind of blaming herself for being like naive and not that she didn't. I don't think that Malia didn't see the warning signs. I think that she saw them. I think there was allowances made for
Mm-hmm.
those warning signs, and then the second part of it was saying like Malia was under a lot of pressure from the family because both families had already had it, in their minds, like this would be a good pairing. People at a certain status start to play stat games and they start putting people together. I know my father did that bad. My father was always looking at like, okay, so and so has a son. Okay, okay, they have a daughter. That's a good family. Like sitting around and him. Well, what do you think about him? And he's a nice looking kid, and his family comes from a great background. And it's like I don't like him though. He's a butthole. Like he's rude. It's like because parents see what they see. Kids see how people really behave. Me and Alicia was on the phone last night and we were laughing. I'm like, there was somebody who, by the time I was 9, my dad was like, oh, that's your husband. You and this boy, oh my, his family is a good family. Oh, this is going to be a match made in heaven. And everybody wanted to put us together. Everybody was like, mm-mm, mm-mm, mm-mm.
I was the only one against it, but yeah.
Yeah. I mean, growing up your whole entire life from the age of 9 years old, being told to use about 14, or, I guess at that point, yeah, maybe from like 9 to 12 or 9 to 13,
Mm.
being like, oh, you already betrothed. He's going to be your husband. Why? Why are we so young playing matchmaker with kids? And the boy was just he was something else. He was so cocky and he was so arrogant. And he was like, you do
He
what you want
believed
to do.
it.
He was like, you do what you want to do because you're already my wife. And I was like, I am 10. I am nobody's wife. He was like, no, you're going to be my wife. And at one point, this boy had me convinced that I was his. Like, he just kept talking to me and said, no, because everybody around him was like, oh, no, that's going to be your wife. And how dare we as a family? I would never be putting my daughter who's 10 years old off on something. No, because you've already found your husband. But that's what people do at
Right.
certain levels. They start to match people together and it's like, no, that's a good fit for you. That's a really good fit. That didn't work out because we found out some information that was
that canceled that out, and I was all thankful for it.
Yeah, we found
Um,
some information canceled down.
you remember my situation when I was 13?
Yeah,
I had this guy, he's 18 years old, came right up to me and told me, "You my woman." Oh, I am? Yeah, I asked your mom already. My dad and your mom said that we're together.
yeah,
Weird. Okay. And at 13, especially, I was still deep in the church. That was, you better get up and get ready for church or I'm gonna whoop you. Still, we were still at that stage, so I was really surprised that my mom went for it. But because this boy, I guess, was a little slow, according to most folks, he wasn't. He just was country as hell.
country.
Um, Country, that's all it was. And so
That's
they
all it
took that
was.
as him being slow. And I'm like, no. But yeah, that and even before then, he had a little crush on me and he told people I was going to be his. And I'm like, boy, go on somewhere. I had a crush on somebody else at church, wasn't even thinking somebody that was my age. Um, his pretty black self, Lord Jesus. But
Back.
girl, I don't want to be saying people's names on here, but yeah, anywho, we were basically kind of forced together because I really didn't want to be with him. I
Right.
didn't kiss him, nothing like that. And of course, later on, he lied, and he lied on me, of course, like a lot of guys do. And
Always.
yeah, church blamed me for something that I ain't even do. But
He was wrangled into a situation you didn't want to be a
his
part of. You didn't even
family,
like him
right. I didn't even like
because
him. His
family.
family, his family thought we would be good together, and my mom agreed with it, and so that's how I got into that one.
You see how this works, people? Let the families do the
They,
negotiations on relationships. We can force couples together. So yeah, I definitely think that Malia putting up with a lot of um, Mike's behavior was kind of like she had already probably seen men in their society, men at a high level, cheating and doing something. Everybody had a little extra. The wives had a little extra on the side, personal trainer, tennis, instructor. Everybody had something else going on. And so that's how people learn to deal with infidelity, by having whatever they wanted on the side. So maybe I think Malia felt like we're just falling right into alignment. Mike's already having something on the side and I'm already starting to cry. And maybe I'll turn to a glass of bourbon. So I definitely think there was a lot of pressure on her. That's unfair. I couldn't even imagine, you know, we all have daughters, playing matchmaker with our daughters. You have a 13-year-old, Alicia. I have a 10-year-old. Kyria, you have a 10-year-old. I am not thinking nothing about no Layla having no husband at this point in her life. You need to figure
you
out what
better
it is
not
to be
even
a
think
little
about
girl.
it.
Right. You need to be thinking about what it is at this point in your life to be a young little girl and fully explore that and just not try to grow up so fast. But we were really being pushed at early ages to grow up. And I don't know if it was just because we came from super religious families and they thought like that. You get married early, you have your kids early, it was just like, it was a little
Girl,
bit
it
on the
just
crazy
hit
side.
me. Kyrie is 13. Can
Mm-hmm.
you imagine some freaking 18-year-old looking at my
Yeah.
baby that way? So it
Girl, you would kill them.
just
You
came to
would
me
kill
right
them.
now. I definitely would go to his parents and be like, yeah, here's my baby. Lord
Mm-mm.
Jesus.
Yeah,
Okay.
people playing matching card games with families, and I would be a really good Italian. I
Card
think
game.
they did. They had a whole conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
We think Alicia would be great for him, and you know what? You guys come from a great family. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the age difference, it'll smooth itself out in a few years. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, didn't even say to ask me. Just like,
And I remember I came over and they was all talking. It was like, so Alicia and such, they're together, and I was like, what? Because I
I
was like,
just
I shouldn't even
know
like him.
right. I
It was
didn't.
just crazy. It
Mm-hmm.
just it I don't know what type of mess our parents and family was into, but it's not okay. You don't do that to kids. Kids are not playing cards, and girls or boys. Like, no. But people do that. I do think there was a lot of pressure on Malia to maintain that relationship. As the story progresses, we will see more of like who is Mike, who is his family, and why is he considered to be this like big fish? Like, why is he considered to be the wave or whatever? And we're gonna find out who his family is here soon, more and more as the story unfolds. And you'll be like, oh, that's why everybody in town was so, adamant about Malia having him, because he was it. He was the catch of the day. And he fine, you know what I'm saying? But still being fine ain't got nothing to do with how you treating people. You out here embarrassing people on prom night. Because what I would not have done, my guy, is be up in any bathroom stalls crying. No, we're not doing that. Oh, you acting up? I'm about to get real crazy with you, baby. I told you I match energy. I'm not gonna be nowhere crying. He's gonna be with another girl tonight. Okay. Where your friend at? Yeah. I'm about to be a bad girl
Mm,
doing bad things. I'm acting full too. I mean, I ain't taking nobody home. But I mean, since you can have a good time on the dance floor, I'm gonna have me a nice time on the dance floor too. You know what I'm
mm-hmm.
saying? Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, it was really unfair to Malia.
Alrighty. So our next question. Malia unzipped Chan's coat she was wearing to give him a better look at her assets.
No, that's
Have
right.
you ever done something similar to gain
Let me be like
someone's
that.
interest? Go Malia. Mm. Um,
What do you mean no down there? Look at her. Her mouth.
I said, no, don't go nowhere, Malia.
oh no, Kyrie, she's super saved, girl. You better leave that
Super
woman alone.
say sanctified,
She's
baby.
super saved,
Kojic.
sanctified.
No,
She like,
no.
mm-mm,
That's
no.
mother right. That's mother.
That's mother. That's our
It's
future mother
mother.
right there. I
That's
can picture
mother
that
right
happening.
there.
She's
With
too
your
saved.
fast self, Corinna and Lee. Mother said absolutely not. Will not. Mother got a little Kitty Scott in her baby. You see that? Kitty that came out
No,
of
you
mother.
sound dead on your mama,
I do
girl.
like
Come through, kitty.
come
Um,
through.
no, I did. There was this guy that I liked. And we were kind of like feeling each other. This was before, marriage and all that. But not him. It was another guy. Um, anyway, so he was, we kind of did the respectful thing. We kept seeing each other and we were feeling each other. Our friends, or it was his cousin and my friend, one of my good friends at the time, her boyfriend's cousin would come and kick it with us because he's like, wait, is Alicia going to be there?
Mm.
And, she's like, yeah, she's coming. I mean, and so he would come. When she told me that, she's like, girl, he was asking if you were going to come. Like, he wasn't even going to come because he just got off of work, but he found out that you were coming. And
I'm
I
talking
was like,
about
okay. Then I
yeah.
started looking at him a little different. So after about two or three of these, like, we would go bowling, we would go to the movies. We went to Point Defiance, did back when they had bumper cars and crap. Like, we did like
Oh
fun
yeah.
stuff. And so we always, she would be with her boyfriend. The other girl that we was with, she was with her boyfriend. So me and this guy would naturally kind of link up and we had fun a few times or whatever. So, anyways, one night I was just like, you know what? we gon' not like, get down, but I
Oh, I
just
got
wanted to
it.
show him a little something, something. And he was already, we were bowling and he was leaning and I was like kind of leaning up against him. We were waiting for our turn to bowl, and he kind of put his hands on my hips, and so I took his hands and moved it up a little higher, and I pulled my little shirt
Mm-hmm.
up on my belly. That's back when I had a flat stomach. um and he kind of
And
held
didn't
my
you have
belly.
didn't you have a piercing too?
Yes, I got my belly pierced right
Yeah.
after I had Jalen to celebrate my flat stomach because I had a baby. Well, yeah, I had a baby, and that was one of the first things I did because I popped Jalen out. There she is.
Ma'am, don't do that to me. We need to be
I
we need to
popped
be in love.
and I was, my
You don't
stomach
wanna
was
love
pierced.
me?
But yeah, so that was the kind of similar thing, just not totally hoeing out, but I did pull my shirt up a
You
little
so
bit.
stupid. That is not a whole out move. You just
It
wanted to let them know
wasn't a whole move to
it
me,
wasn't.
but
You so y'all too conservative for my taste buds.
no. If you told Heidi any mess like that back when I was come on now, we would have
Yeah,
got
well,
our butt.
you just moved his
Well,
hand like
never felt. Yeah, I was just like, okay, hold on, about
you didn't
right
put a
here.
hand on your tatas or all the cheeks. You were just like, move them a little higher up here on
Well,
the
that's not.
waist.
It wasn't the same thing, but it was something kind of similar. He. That was the first time he felt like skin. Let's
Well, you
put it
just
that
want to
way.
show them how nice your stomach looked. You get that nice little sexy
Like, oh,
belly button,
hey, I got a little
piercing.
belly ring, and my tummy's still flat.
Honey,
Nothing.
I'm here for all of it.
So that
Period.
that
Like,
was.
absolutely not.
She's like,
Period. The devil
I
is
cannot
in you
believe you
too.
guys. I'm gonna pray for you both.
Y'all is a mess.
Yeah, definitely no way. I have never done that to
You a
gain.
church girl, baby, to your roots, honey.
But after they were already interested and we were in a relationship, then
That's when the
I'll
super freaks turn up.
show a little shoulder. You know, I was.
She said a
It
little
actually made me
show.
think of your story. Made me think of when I was in middle school, and there was a group of girls that I wanted to hang out with, trying to get to know people and hang out with people. But they always wore like really like short uniforms. Even with their uniforms, it was like still short. I don't know how they got their parents to buy that style of uniforms or whatever. But I remember one time, like, my skirt would go way down past my knees, and I had like the church girl style uniform. And so I was just like, oh, so I wanted to be cool one day. And when I got to school, I went in the bathroom and I rolled my skirt up at my waist and I pulled the shirt down. You know how you like kind of fluff it, you tuck it and fluff it over so you
Mm-hmm.
can't see where you rolled it up
Come
at.
on, Kyrie.
Yeah, so I was trying to be cute for my homegirls and, thought I was doing something. And one of my homeboys, it was like after lunch break, he came up and whispered in my ear, "Oh, you think we don't notice how you rolled your skirt up like that? You're just trying to impress people." I was so embarrassed. Never did it again. Never did it again. I was just like, "Oh, I'm doing it to try to
You
impress
said
my
I'm caught.
girlfriend." And the guys are like, "Oh, look at her," and I was just like, no,
See,
thank
Karina or even myself, we would have been like, "Oh, what?" and we would have rolled it up some more.
Honey, I would have been like, and I'm gonna keep on doing it. And you know me, because I'm not admitting to nothing. Like I'd be like, I didn't do this with nobody. Like I wanted, so that I would have did that. I don't remember like a particular instance because I know I've done it like a billion times. I know it. That's why I don't think I can remember. You know, I can't remember like one particular instance because I know I've done it more than once. So yeah, I'm definitely for that move. I'm definitely for that move. You know what I'm saying? Adjusting the
No,
shit a little
you
bit.
got a lot. Come on, we spilled our beans. You better give us a
I
story. You
don't.
ain't skipping that one. Like, I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't actually, because I know I've done it a few times. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, there was a shirt that I had, and I'm kind of top heavy a little bit, and so there was a shirt that I just knew. You said a little.
A lot of it.
I'm a little top heavy, okay. And so I had bought this shirt, and the shirt was just like, okay, this is my struggle when I buy shirts and it shows a little cleavage, because what it looks like on other people, like, oh, that's sexy, it's cute and classy. By the time I put it on, I look like I came straight from Magic City. Like that's the energy that we be on, right? And I'd be like, God, like it changes on me, right? So I had this shirt and I just knew I couldn't wear it nowhere because it literally looked like I was a stripper. Never stripped a day in my life, but it just was doing a lot. Like on the mannequin, it was hot. It looked like something that you would see somebody, on MTV wearing. On me, it was like, all doing Dolly Parton. So my boyfriend at the time, who was T, he came through and I was like, I don't know why. It was like Memorial Day weekend. And we had just started dating. And, he was always taking me out. We always like, did fun stuff together. And so I was like, oh, what can I wear? Like, I knew he was coming up from like Portland area. And I'm like, it was a nice day. I'm like, what can I wear? I'm like, I really want to turn up for him. I really want him to see this body. You know what I'm saying? And so, girl, that shirt got to calling my name. And I put that shirt on. And so, of course, he rang my doorbell and I came and he was like, And I'm like, let me grab my purse. You know what I'm saying? So I went and got my stuff, and he was like, dang, like you just come out here stacked, like. And I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
oh,
Like
I
she
bought this shirt a while back, and I did. I literally had bought that shirt a while back, but it was like, who was I gonna wear it with? Like, I just
yeah.
didn't have nobody like go. Yeah, I mean, I guess I was waiting, right? Waiting for that one. So I put that shirt on,
And here
baby, and I
you
was
are,
stunning out here in the
three babies
street.
later. Mm-hmm.
3 babies later,
He wasn't
you know what I'm
letting that
saying?
mess go. He said,
Not at all. And
I'm
so he
locking
was
you
just,
down
girl, he was all on me. Like we was out and about. He just touched my arm. You know what I'm saying? He was just trying to be as close to me as possible. And I was like, so is this what the shirt is doing? Is the shirt making you want to touch me a little more? So yeah.
now.
Yeah. It went down. So yeah, the shirt kind of again, I knew that shirt was a little busty, but I was like, I'm gonna turn up for my dude though. So that's what we doing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm
Right.
gonna be honest, I could never be with anybody who's like, I don't like the way you dress, and that's not modest enough. I don't want anybody look. No, sir, you're not gonna be the one for me because nobody's gonna censor my wardrobe. Okay, to know me is to
Right.
love me, and to know me is to accept me and my clothes choices. You know what I'm saying? So I ain't showing
Mm-hmm.
up to church like that, but baby, we out and about, and we're not in God's house. We not in God's house. We doing it. So that's that. Okay, so the next question is mine. It says, when the cops showed up, I laughed so hard. Why did Malia and Chen allow that to stop their vibe? They didn't kiss, and I was a bit disappointed. Ladies, what did you think when the cops rolled up?
Um, I was a little pissed off. I was like, man, because this book, you go line for line. You're like, it's a page turner. I was telling Corinna that. So, yeah, it was like, man, everything was right. Everything was leading up to it, and it's like right before them lips touch, whoop whoop. And
Boo.
you're like, me personally, I just would have gave him a show, um, at least a kiss, but I don't know. I didn't. I don't think they should have let the even if they were like, "Hey, you got to go," blah blah blah. I would have been like, "Okay, all right, we
I
gonna
we're
all right,"
leaving.
and then we would have went on
Mhm.
with our kids, and then that would
Mhm.
have been that.
Right.
But yeah. And Malia has said something. She's like, God, every time we get ready to have a moment, something crazy happens.
We
Like,
have
what?
to recreate this moment.
Why?
We ain't let nothing stop
Yeah.
us. We ain't
Like,
stopping
this
this.
was perfect, and this one got messed up too. So,
That's okay because their whole problem is they keep waiting for the perfect time. I'm creating my own timeline.
right. Or the next time we meet up, I'll be like, let's get this out the way now because we know some
Let's
mess
just
gonna
do
pop
it.
up. Let's get this kiss off and popping, and then we can go on about our date because Lord Jesus.
It
So I
seems
was
like these
disappointed.
two, yeah, and it seems like these two are really kind of like they both are. They like to wait for the right moments. I've noticed that
Hmm.
they're very much like moment driven. They don't seem to be spontaneous, but they like to wait for all of everything to come into divine alignment. All the stars and the moons and the planets are all aligned, and now we can go. Even if it's not aligned, I know how to align some stuff. So that was my thought process, of the situation. I was like, hey, honey, she had unzipped the coat. She had told him, hey, I know I'm wearing your jacket, but it's getting a little cold out here. She tried to pull a Chan on Chan, and she invited him into her jacket. And with her inviting him into her coat, he was able to see the body yachty. He was like, okay, I'm seeing all the assets real up close and personal. So then the cops pull up and then like, oh, the park closed 15 minutes ago and y'all need to leave. And they're like, okay, officer. I would have waited for him to pull off and I would have been like, but I'm still here though. My mouth is still here. I'm right here. I ain't going nowhere. Let's do what we do. But whatever, it didn't happen. And I really was like, don't let nothing and like stop the moment. Like create the moment again. That's my philosophy. What's about you, Kitty? I know you would have been like, oh, it's over and the cops have shown up. I'm leaving.
Yeah, I was definitely wondering why they let it stop them too, and I thought that they were going to finish when they got in the car, But yeah, I don't know because if I had got into that moment, like where I'm that worked up and ready to kiss this person, I'm gonna take that kiss. Like, yeah, even if the cops came or whatever, and even if we didn't finish right here, we're gonna finish in the car before we drive. Like, we're not just gonna pretend like this just didn't happen, you know. And
You
then on the
know?
flip side of that, if I got myself into the situation I didn't want to be in, because I don't like kissing people anyway, you know. So I'd have been like, "Woo,
God,
that was
mother.
a close one."
Mother said, "Don't put your mouth on my mouth. I don't want it." Mother. See what happens when you
Mm,
grow up religious? You see what they have done to people?
Right.
Making everything a bad thing, so like slowly but surely trying to like peel off those layers of that's not godly. How come a kiss is not like it's ungodly? Come on, man. But yeah, they had us thinking. My dad used to tell me when I was a kid, "Don't you let the boy kiss you in your mouth, and if he put his tongue in your mouth, you get pregnant instantly." I was like, "What? A French kiss don't get some?" Okay, I'm not getting pregnant with no French kiss. But yeah, my dad told me that lie for years. Like you never heard that? At least
mm.
he was like, "What? Your mama didn't tell you that lie?"
No, they used to scare us with what was it called? They called it the kissing disease. I know it
Mhm.
starts with an M. Mono.
Mono.
Yes, our next question is Chan seemed ready to go upstairs and finish what went down at the restaurant. What happened? Malia seemed like she changed her mind while Chan was ready for that nightcap.
Hmm.
Yeah, maybe the police made Malia snap out of it and be like, wait, let me rethink what I'm doing here. I think because
Right.
Malia she was ready too at one point, you know, but she was still trying to get that kiss, you know, like even when they were going to the elevator and stuff, but she didn't want to be the one like coming off so strong because we're taught that as women, like we're not supposed to
Yeah.
make the first move. So even though she wanted that kiss really bad, she held back because she didn't want to come on so strong, being the woman in the situation, you know. So
I felt that. I really did feel that. I felt like if he would have kissed her, I feel like it would have been led up to the elevator. We would have been all up in the elevator, kissing and rolling around, hitting buttons and stuff, trying to get upstairs to that, to my floor. Like that's what I
Sure.
felt like would have happened. If I was there, praise God,
Praise God.
um, praise God. But like Kyrie said, like, we always be like, raised like, you don't make the first move. You don't give your phone number out. You don't tell somebody you love them first. You don't kiss somebody first. You don't make these moves. Like let him make that move on you. I'm already here, so clearly I'm with it. It's all about are you feeling froggy, baby? Are you about to leap? I mean, the ball is yours. Are you going to dribble it? Are you going to shoot? Like what you doing? I mean, don't stand there. Don't fumble the ball. Do what you do. So I feel like because he didn't take the shot, he missed the chance. He was just like, no, I'm just gonna wait till I get upstairs and throw it on her. And I think she was kind of like, I think if he would
Mm.
have kissed her right then and there, party would have started for show. But yeah, I'm a savage. Go ahead, Lily.
Um, and the author's note at the end of the chapter said, I kind of feel like she was playing games. I'm like, yeah, she was. Malia was kind of a little bit because she was all down. I know you're Malia's top defender, but nah, she knew what she was doing. I'm like, you gonna open up the coat, let him feel the goods, flirt with him. Y'all about to have a whole little moment, and then you're like,
He
yeah,
didn't touch
because
the good, but his body was pressed against the good.
girl, he got
Okay,
he
that's too
got
much.
the
That was too much.
imprint. He got the
He got
he
the
got the
imprint. He definitely had the print.
yes. Okay. Um. Oh, I accidentally turned my camera off. Sorry. There I am. Okay. But yeah, I kind of felt she was playing with it a little bit, and then like
Does she
when
have to
he
do
was
everything? Does she have to do everything? Come upstairs, sir.
no 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 no, I think what happened was she was goofing off with him, and then like he was down for he was down. He's like, hold up, okay,
He was
yeah,
down
let's
for
do
Pound
this.
Town.
And then
Yeah.
she got scared, like, oh wait, hold up, no, um, it wasn't supposed to go
Oh.
that far. So I she did change her mind suddenly, and I didn't get why because in previous chapters, she talked about like just seeing him or just smelling him and how her body was yearning for him. And she was down to get, you know,
You know what I
down for
wonder? I wonder,
what?
was it the climax at the table? Like if she would have never had that release, maybe she would have been. Because
No,
I mean,
because
she's feeling a little
girls can get
satisfied.
off more than once. That's
I think
dudes.
you
Dudes,
can.
they get off and they ready
No,
to go.
no, but
But
like, could you imagine just like this build up? Maybe she hasn't, you know, even self pleasured maybe in a few weeks or so. You know what I mean? And to finally, get that little release, honey, at the table. Maybe she was like, I feel so satisfied. Okay, well, I can go to bed now. Thank you for your help, sir. Maybe it was just so satisfying. Maybe if that pressure was still there and it was mounting, it'd have been like, I'm gonna need you to come over here and bust some pipes.
Yeah, you're so right. Because Malia's been holding that for years, for a long time. Because she even feels
yeah,
some type of way about pleasing herself. So you are so right. Never thought about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he messed that up
That
for
was the only thing
himself
that
at
made
the restaurant.
sense.
Hmm.
That was the only thing that made sense because I was like, she was so down to give him a taste of everything. And I'm like
and then
what
once she
changed?
got off,
You
she
had a
was
devil do
straight.
you?
See how the devil he
Devil
chance
did
set
him
himself up. He set himself up.
uh,
He
the
went too
devil
far.
did his chan wrong.
The devil, and
Um,
he was so offended. He was like, "Did I misread
yeah,
this?" Like, yeah, you did so.
yeah.
You see,
See,
you had her climax at the wrong time at the table when it should have been at the apartment.
when it could have been. Yeah, devil did him. Mm-hmm.
See how the devil do you?
Himself
See how you let
in.
yourself get used like that? You know what I'm saying? He was trying to put it on her, and then it was a satisfaction. Like, sometimes you could be left yearning for more.
It's
Like,
funny
oh,
because he was all
I want
smug
more.
about it too. Like, yeah, look what I
And who
did.
got
Blah
the
blah blah.
last laugh now?
Yeah,
Who's
he
got the
sure
last laugh now?
right. Yeah, 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 that okay. So it actually, because I was saying, I didn't know what happened. I thought she was down to go, and then all of a sudden it was like, no, don't walk me in. No, bye, good night. And he's sitting there
Yeah.
just stuck, looking like,
He's like, what? He's like, was I reading this wrong? I thought we was going somewhere with this. Like, maybe next time, don't suck the soul out of my finger, sir. You know,
mm,
try not to do that.
control yourself.
Control thyself. Yes.
Mm. Um. Okay. So, our final question. Chance slipped up and asked her what was her condom number. That was cute. Um, her condom number instead of condo. What would you do if someone said that to you? Well, you
It's time
guys
for you
just
to
saw
go
my
home.
reaction. I'd be like, that's cute. You
Mm.
tried it.
Yeah, he would have to
Con-
go home.
What's my condom number? Boy,
I mean,
bye.
condo number.
Condo. You knew what you was
So,
doing.
so you was thinking about a condom. So you was wondering if he had packed one.
Uh, he knew what he was doing. That was
Yeah.
him trying to, there we go. That little subliminal bull crap. He should have just been direct. Hey, you got me all hot and bothered. I got you all. You want to return the favor? Like, you need to be
No,
you need to
it's
be
like,
more direct, but sit there playing these little games, talking about some condom, a condo. That's another reason you went home with the blue balls. That's exactly what you
you violent, bro.
did. The devil did him. See,
That one did him so dirty. So dirty.
so smug about it too. Like, you definitely did something, bro.
Kyrie, what would have been your reaction to a man walking you in and he's trying to figure out what your condom number is instead what is your condo number? Like what would have been that like reaction for you?
Yeah, I definitely would have thought it was a play on words to kind of see where I would take that. So the first time it would have been cute, but if Chan has any more of these slip ups, it's just really going to show his maturity level, and I'm going to be turned off, and we're not going to have any more dates.
I think if somebody would have been like saying that to me like condo, I'd have been like, well, I'll call you out,
Ask
that's
some
what I do.
questions.
I call people out. I'd be like, so wait a minute, like, where's your mind at, sir? Are you in the gutter? Like, why would you be thinking about condoms? And he's like, oh, okay. So he was just like, oh, I get a little nervous when I'm around you. And she's like, yeah, feeling's kind of mutual. All right. I think him saying the whole condom versus condo, I think for her it was like, oh, so you think about something you trying to come inside. Maybe not tonight, sir. She was already feeling quite satisfied with her fingers. Alicia said, homeboy, he wanted some reciprocity. He's like, yo, because I took care of you. I'm like, this sounds like a threat, though. Like, that doesn't sound like pleasure. That sounds like anger and frustration. And I'm not for anger or frustration. You know what I'm saying? So we'll have to see next time what happens if I feel up to it. Stop sucking people's fingers. Like, restrain thy mouth. Restrain thy tongue.
People's like he just do it in the community. Hey, you need something done? Call Chan. He will suck fingers. Girl, like he got to add up. He like quit sucking fingers. Oh Lord, Chan.
That's like something Kyrie would say. Stop sucking fingers.
Stop sucking fingers. Ew. Like,
yeah, that's wild. You guys are crazy. Every week when we get together, we have like the best laughs. And I look forward to my Tuesday sessions with my ladies because I know this necklace is giving me a fit. But I just look forward to all the laughs and reading in between the lines with you guys because it just makes this experience so much better. Any final thoughts before we close out? Come on, mother.
Don't suck people's fingers. Or other story.
Do you when you out here sucking fingers too early? Like it wasn't the proper location.
It's not going to work out for you in the long run.
It's not going to work
it's
out.
not. You gonna get
And it did not work out for him. He sucked them too well. It left satisfaction. It didn't leave want. It left satisfied. And when she was satisfied, she didn't need him to satisfy anything else. We wait for the fingers and all that stuff and them toes to be sucked at the house. Proper setting. Go turn that gas fireplace on. You know what I'm saying? Light me a candle. I got fingers and toes. I'll keep you busy for a while. Okay. Mom, don't watch this. Anyways.
Girl, you know this gonna be the one episode she tuned into. Or the second episode.
Like I feel like when she does start to watch more, she's gonna be like, well, wait a minute, Corenna.
Them like, glasses gonna drop down. She's gonna be watching the browser like
I'm like, don't you judge me, kid. Kid, don't you judge me. I'm just being human over here. I'm just having human experiences.
To get the rocking. Well, who was you talking about?
She always wants to know,
all you gotta do is just call her out on her younger freak and she'll hush. Be like, don't I get this from you, mama. I didn't heard your stories.
She gonna be like, you a lie. You ain't heard nothing about. I'm a mother in the house of God.
Girl, all 5 of her kids was immaculate conception.
Basically, like, that's your father. That was your father. He was out in them streets. He was an old whore. What? You call my dad a whore? Got it. Yeah. My mom was like, I'm not like that. Yeah. You a hot mess, lady. You're not Mother Scott. She wasn't for them streets, baby. All right. That's all for this episode of Rose City, the After Show. We hope you enjoyed our discussion on episode 17. Don't forget to tune in next week when we will be diving into episode 18. That one is called Both on Different Pages. If you haven't already read it, what are you waiting for? The first 3 episodes are free on Kindle Vella. So there's no reason for you not to check out this amazing story. We're sure you'll be hooked. We are. New episodes are being published every week. We love hearing from our readers, so please add to your thoughts, questions, and theories to the comment section below, or reach out to us on Rose City, the After Show on Facebook. All links will be provided in the description. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you again next time in Rose City. Bye.